Welcome to Module 1, the module where we look to yourself. Before we start immersing ourselves into this module, can I just check that you've got your thinking tools printed out and also your learning capture worksheets? They will really help you out as you're going through the actual learning videos. But like I said in the welcome video, it doesn't matter if your approach is you want to watch all the videos at once and then go back to them. That's a great approach as well. Please don't forget that the tools, you can use them electronically, so you can use them on your laptop, your iPad, or your main computer. It's entirely up to you. Whatever works best for you. There's no right or wrong way of approaching this actual course. So, Module 1, we're going to look to yourself. And the reason we start here is, for any kind of change, we've got to start to look to self. And this first video, I'm really going to work on our thinking and also about being very truthful to ourselves. So the thing I say is look inward and face the truth. This whole course is about self-truth. It's about looking inward and being very truthful to ourselves, and then looking outward and progressing towards the aims that we want in our life. But first of all, to really create meaning and the why, we look inward and we be very truthful. So throughout this whole course, that's one question I'd like to pose to you is, are you being truthful? Are you being really honest with yourself? So our self-awareness is the first step to change. So the first subject I'd like to talk about is self-awareness. It starts with improving our skill of self-awareness, and primarily with the way we think. Our thoughts are so powerful. We have thousands of them a day. And if you really start to think about that, as go, how many do I actually recognize? It'd be interesting because, you know, we do literally have thousands of thoughts. But if you could sit there now and think, well, actually, how many do I remember? It's quite astonishing of how many you actually do. And our thoughts have so much impact on the way we are, our attitudes, our behaviors, and our habits. So we're going to try and really focus on this skill of self-awareness, the awareness of our thoughts. Now, there's lots of research around positive thinking, and there is a place for positive thinking. But I'm a realist, and I also know life comes at us, and not everything is around positivity. It's good to choose to be positive, but there's something here that I really want to explain is around power thinking. Is start being more aware of what we're thinking and then choosing to think that way. So this whole point of self-awareness as a skill leads to change. So the challenge is what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What's creating that thinking? What are you around? What are you doing that's making you think a certain way? Who is it are you around that's making you think a certain way? What are you watching? What are you engaged in? What's really influencing your thoughts? And what is it that you're actually thinking? If you just take that moment to reflect back and go, what is it I've been thinking about today? And where has that got me? Because our thoughts are very much linked to our feelings and the actions we take and the results we get. Our thoughts create a feeling. Our feelings create a certain action, a behaviour, the way we feel, and overall it'll end in a result, a consequence at the end of it all. We're very feeling creatures. We do things for a feeling. If I think about it, about 2 weeks ago I brought a shirt, and the reason I bought a new shirt is because I wanted to feel a certain way. I wanted to look good, I wanted to feel great. And in most of our actions, if you really think about it, there's an end feeling. So this first video is really about our thinking and really understanding that the importance of our thinking leads so much to many other things, is our feelings, our actions and our results. But there's also another view on this, and it's how we feel leads to how we think, again leads to our actions and leads to our results. How are we feeling? Because our feelings will generate our thoughts. If I'm feeling bored or have the feeling of feeling bored, I will think a certain way and then I will take certain actions which will lead into results. If I eat bad food, that could create negative thoughts, which would create negative actions that would create negative results. So really be thinking about this, about, okay, so what am I thinking? What's that feeling it's creating? But also, what am I doing that's making me feel a certain way, either good or bad? Because in the end, that will generate and determine our thoughts as well. So, very important to understand this and start to really think deeply about your thoughts. Now, from my own experience, I'd like to share with you my story. I'm, very open and honest, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And all this came about with something that happened to me about 8 years ago when I was 38 years old. So it was November the 9th and I suffered my second heart attack. The day before I had my first heart attack, I didn't realise it. I did the usual thing, thought it was indigestion, and I rode it through. The second day is where I had my major heart attack. And I was rushed into hospital. I was there for about a week in intensive care and I recovered and I finally came home. And I had to really sit and evaluate what had happened. It wasn't hereditary. I wasn't really unhealthy, as in I didn't smoke, etc. I didn't have too many bad habits. But the conclusion I came to was my thinking habits, my attitude was wrong. I had no self-awareness to what I was thinking. And these thoughts that I was having were creating feelings of anxiety, as stress. I was also thinking that I was indestructible and I could work and I could do 80, 90 hours a week, and I was just working myself to a consequence, really. And that consequence, unfortunately, was a heart attack at 38. So this got me on my journey of about understanding around thoughts and how powerful they are, and actually the consequences that they can create at the end. There is always a day of reckoning, and the choices we make and the decisions we make, we have to be, what I say, a student of our consequences, and I certainly was. So this is why I'm so passionate, and this is why I start here around our thinking. What is it that we're doing that's creating these thoughts and attitudes in our head, and then what then drives the behaviours and the actions and the results from that? So the key thing here is self-awareness. Ask yourself the questions: what is it that I think about quite a lot? What is it these thoughts have got me doing? Who am I around that's making me think a certain way? And then start to ask yourself, okay, so if I become more self-aware and really understand what I'm thinking, can I start to choose the way I think? We are faced with lots of challenges throughout life. Life comes at us, like I said, and adversity for sure will always come. And a lot of it is out of our control. We can do nothing about it. So to bring control back is, you can say, this is the way I'm going to think about this situation. This is the way I then can respond to this situation. And you feel more in control. And from my own experience, once I could take control of my thinking through my self-awareness, it reduced a lot of the stress, the anxiety and the worry. And this is a constant. It's a skill to be practiced. So this is a daily ritual that I work on around self-awareness, constantly asking those questions. So I thought I want to share that experience with you, because it's really important to understand why I've started here on the thinking, this looking at ourselves. And I'm a big believer on self-talk, and I'll talk about that on the next video. But use of words, the power of words, because they can create a meaning. And once we make something meaningful and important, we have a high chance of taking the action or the new habits or the new behavior or a new attitude, because we have personal meaning to it. So the 3 words that I say to myself quite a lot is, John, seek the truth. These are what I call my power words. These are my choice words. When maybe I'm struggling or I'm being lazy, I look to myself and I say these 3 words: seek the truth. John, seek the truth to this situation. Seek the truth to your thinking. And these 3 words have really helped me progress and continually help me progress and take ownership and responsibility, especially the way I think, and especially how I now strengthen my resolve and fortitude around challenges that I face and adversity that may come. So I hope this helps. I hope this gets you thinking about the first module around look to yourself. I'm going to, on the next video, talk about self-talk and the power of words we use. But for this video, just think about self-awareness. How aware are you of your thoughts? What are you thinking about? What's creating these thoughts? Is it time to assess them and make some changes? What are you feeling like? We do things for a feeling. So start to search, what is the end feeling that I'm after? You know, if I'm feeling bored and my negative thoughts come in, and then maybe I start eating the wrong food, which then causes an end consequence. What is the end feeling that you're really trying to claim when you take an action? So I hope this first video helps. I'm excited to get on this journey. We've got a great journey ahead of us of progression and learning and challenging ourselves and being truthful to ourselves as well. So please think about this first video. What did you get from it? Did it mean anything to you? And seek the truth. Start really looking at the truth about the way you think. So thank you for your time, your energy and your focus, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.